It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
What's up, y'all? It's Macho,
It's Savory,
and you're watching
and you're watching.
Drinks with a Nobody.
Be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, like our channel, share our content. We premiere Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, cheers to Hillary Clinton, man, on being fined by the FEC, and I think she was fined chump change, but here we are. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, I mean, listen, she was fined by the what is it? The
FEC, Federal Election Commission.
And you're saying it's chump change, right? Because it was like 800,000, right? And then the DNC
was 113,000.
Oh, it was 113.
Yeah, and I think her portion is like 8,000 for one, and the DNC is paying 100 and something. So it's almost like, come on, Hillary Clinton just made 8K while we're speaking now, bro.
Yeah, facts. She generates that kind of money. So wait a minute. So okay, let's clarify. Why is she getting fined?
So she's being fined for misleading the public and lying about the financing of her campaign connected to the Russia dossier and all that. So this is how it breaks it down here. The Hillary Clinton campaign and the DNC have just been fined by the Federal Election Commission over the fraudulent Russia dossier they used to attack Trump on multiple fronts. It was all garbage, and everyone knows it. So that's one reference. So mainly it was the funding of the dossier, for those of y'all who don't know, was traced back to Clinton, which means that whole op research and all that came directly from Clinton and Trump's opponent, rather than just like someone else or FBI or the dossier where nobody knew where it came from. It came directly from Hillary and her campaign. So yeah, which I think is a bigger deal than being fined 130K. That's all I'm saying. For me, it's just like, wait, you're fined 100 for falsifying documents and lying. I don't know. It seems like more serious to me.
Yes, it's definitely serious. But again, politicians have like these clauses. Remember, they make these protections to insulate themselves so that if something were to happen, they could always rely on their party to defend them or bail them out, right?
Exactly.
So, I mean, this whole situation, just the biggest takeaway from this is that the FEC, right, Federal Election Commission, has revealed that, one, this is not partisan, right? It's not a political decision. This reveals that Trump was right from the get about the whole quote unquote witch hunt or the whole quote unquote. So what more could he be right about, right? And this is what scares me, because
how should we understand this fine of the Hillary Clinton campaign?
Thanks, Tucker. So the main thing to take away is that the Hillary Clinton campaign broke federal law. That's why they levied this fine. When I was leading the Russiagate investigation, we had to get a subpoena from Congress to get the bank records to show that the Hillary Clinton campaign and the Dems paid for the Steele dossier.
We knew it. We had intuitive belief in it, but they kept saying, no, but you're drinking the Kool-Aid or you're delusional. And they played this game, and it was only a delay tactic because, again, the truth always comes out at some point.
Yeah.
And we knew that something was cooking. We knew, and I think intuitively everybody knows that Hillary, with the deleted emails, the shady business,
and that's all separate, and those are even other things that are very serious, you know. But basically, here is she's outright lying, right? And in simple terms, I read it this way, really, so people can understand even in a simpler way. They're hiding and not being transparent about their spending, right?
The biggest takeaway is the Hillary Clinton campaign broke federal law by taking political contributions and paying a foreign asset to gin up dirty Russian information that was fake, that they funneled into the FBI to falsely surveil President Trump under illegal warrants issued by the federal surveillance court.
So they
Oh,
accounted for that money in a different way, but really it was a big chunk of money that went into opposition research on your opponent, which they use Fusion GPS.
Well, thanks, Sean. And you've done a great job covering this over the last 2.5 years. As many people know, I was often smeared. And now what we know is there's a link between those who were doing the smearing and Fusion GPS.
Right. So
Yeah,
this is what they do.
yeah.
Instead of hiring a detective, right? That's very clear, right? Hey, I'm a spy on this person. What they do is they pay a firm, right? And that firm does this. So you wash your hands from it. That firm does it, reports
Yeah,
back to you.
but
So in a
listen,
way, Fusion GPS was working for them
but
directly.
and they had people in the White House. They had people in there that were spying on the Trump administration.
Fusion GPS has a long career in this. They have a long record of this. Remember, they worked for the Russian government or oligarchs of the Russian government to smear an American named Bill Browder. Most people know about the Steele dossier and working to smear the Trump campaign. When we were investigating Fusion GPS, they were actively involved in working to smear me to obstruct justice.
During the transition, right, from Obama to Trump. So again, they planted this whole Russian collusion thing, and the DNC is paying for it on behalf of Hillary Clinton. And this is going. And look, I don't care if they paid millions, because again, that's our money. They're paying, so they're using taxpayer dollars essentially to pay.
Well, she has to pay her money. She has to pay from her money.
Well, how she got that money? Think about it. She's been a lifelong, she's a lifelong politician. So she's literally paying a fine that is from our money. So it's like, this doesn't matter to me how much you fine them. Why don't you bring criminal charges up? But they don't, because again, they're insulated, they're protected. And this is the thing that frustrates me, and this is why, Savory.
Well, now the two men who created Fusion GPS have written a book, Crime in Progress Inside the Steele Dossier and the Fusion GPS Investigation of Donald Trump. And Glenn Simpson and Peter Frisch, the founders of the company, join me now.
This is why people have a lack of confidence in our government as well as they should, right?
Facts. Yeah. And I'm 100% with you. But I don't know, in the grand scheme of things, man, think about this. We had years of Russia collusion. We had a phone call. We had multiple impeachments. We had, so
it's important to remember we started this work on Donald Trump in the fall of 2015, looking for Republicans to look at the business dealings of Donald Trump and his business record.
You know, Republican donor and another Republican organization that was looking for background information for what? Reporting, opposition research?
That's correct.
Okay.
I mean, they were looking for, they were trying to stress test his suitability for president.
So for me, I'm like, this is why, and again, I have to take this up with the law, right? Maybe the law is not as harsh as I would want it to be, but this is serious things. Like, look at the consequences.
It started out as an ordinary business investigation. It wasn't really about Russia. As time went on and we realized that he had branched out his business empire around the world, we began looking at other countries. It wasn't just Russia. Right. First reported by the Washington Examiner, the DNC and Clinton campaign agreed to jointly pay $113,000. When I tell you that's nothing, check how that 113K breaks down. Hillary's campaign would pay, you ready? A whopping 8 G's. What?
Wow, that's a lot of penalty there. Again,
about here? And the DNC
$8,000
will pay $105,000.
And whose money is that? That's not their money. They didn't. They've been. Hillary Clinton has been a politician for how many years? Since my man was been in he was a governor of Arkansas, right? So it's like, that's that's taxpayers' money that they have to literally pay for screwing us over for a couple of years. Think about
people,
that.
Let me do another layer right here, Macho, to help people see how deep this goes. The dossier was used to actually spy on Trump. It was the reason they said this is the evidence. So imagine me making up evidence, right? To say, Macho,
Hillary Clinton and the Steele team and Fusion GPS have not apologized, even though her lawyers for the campaign have been indicted by special counsel John Durham. So federal indictments, federal fines showing corruption and a breaking of the federal law is not enough for the mainstream media to come around and say not only did they get it wrong, but they got it so wrong that they need to be calling out the Hillary Clinton campaign and now probably Joe Biden or actually his son Hunter, because these people have been corrupting the media for decades.
Is laundering money, and this is the evidence. But I made up that evidence in order to start my investigation. Like, doesn't that sound really serious, right? It's almost the equivalent of a criminal planting evidence, or a cop, I would say, better said, a cop planting evidence on the scene and saying, hey, I only pursued it because this is the evidence I saw on the scene. So let's pursue it now, right? Let's find the criminal, and then when the cop gets caught, he does 2 months in jail. Bro, you were about to ruin someone's life because you planted evidence.
And forget about that. You were about to unseat, like you totally delegitimize a sitting president who was rightfully elected. And then what are they doing now? You have this January 6th committee who is saying, oh no, it's Trump who's actually delegitimizing a sitting president. It's like, literally, y'all did that. Y'all did that. So what are you talking about? This whole charade is a charade, and it's honestly very frustrating because it deviates us from the most important parts of our country, which is our local and state elections.
Facts.
And they're the ones that, usually should be the most eyed on, but they're not. So a lot of things get slipped through the rug or passed through the weeds in your local and state elections while we're over here looking at this big masquerade in Washington, D.C. It's a kangaroo.
We're just watching a show.
It's a show.
You're right, bro. We're just watching a damn show. Did you see Trump's response?
What did Trump say?
So on March 30th, Trump said this: breaking news. Wow. Just out that the 2016 Clinton campaign and the DNC paid the FEC today for violating the law by failing to disclose their payments for legal advice. So this is him. He's not on social media. This is his update here.
And let's just keep it a buck. Hold on. Let's just keep it a buck, Savory. If this was him, can you imagine the media spin, the media run?
No, we
don't hear a blip
about
it about Hillary.
Yeah. And that's facts, man. And I hope people can admit it. This is not about supporting Trump. I hope people can at least be aware enough to realize, like, look, whether you like Trump or not, it would have gone a different direction if this was on Trump's side. Imagine imagine for a second. Anyways, check this out. So he breaks this down. The law firm Perkins Coie was in fact a guise to hire numerous companies. So they got fined for saying that it was Perkins Coie, but it was really Fusion GPS. All of them who are now defendants in my lawsuit to try to take down, illegally destroy your favorite president. There he goes. This was done to create, as I have stated many times, and it's now confirmed, a hoax funded by the DNC and the Clinton campaign. This corruption is only the beginning. Revealed is an un-American and must never be allowed to happen again. Where do I get to get my reputation back?
Yeah.
Right?
And again, look, what it's revealing in him being vocal about the lack of interest by our media, by our certain agencies, the FBI, the Hunter Biden laptop, this whole thing forget about it being leaned one way.
Yep.
Forget about it. I don't care, because like I said, I was just listening to Giuliani on the radio. He says even Republicans are dirty, right? This is coming out of Giuliani's mouth on his radio show. Even Republicans are dirty.
Oh, yeah, facts.
So this, again, goes back to us being constitutionalists. We love the original idea of the Constitution because why?
Sure.
The original people did not have faith in our government. And so the Constitution was written as a protection, as a layer to cover and insulate the citizen from the government. But the more we give into this political theater, the more we say, no, we need a Bernie, no, we need a Hillary, no, we need a Trump. The more we speak that way, the more we continue to speak that way, the more we delegitimize what the founding fathers originally wanted.
No, I'm with you, man. And the point, this is why, and I'll hit on what you first said about Trump being vocal. I tell people, bro, he has no choice but to
He
be
has no
vocal.
choice.
He has to be. Why? Because let's be honest, the reason Hillary is going to get away with this is called getting away. A fine? Come on, bro.
Oh,
Let's be serious. There's gonna be no consequences. But the reason is
and she
she's
might
smart.
even run again. I wouldn't even put it back. She'll run
Yeah,
again, and
I
no
won't
one would
put it
even
past
care. No one would even care.
But look, listen. What she's doing right now, right, and what she's been doing in politics, she knows that there's no consequences for her. There's no consequences from
Just
the
like her husband,
emails
there
to
was no
Benghazi
consequences. There was no
to
consequences for her husband when he was getting, getting top at the Oval Office, right?
Junior Whoppers. Yeah. So, but my point is this: if we know if it was the other way around, it would be a different story. So he has to speak up because his whole point of running was against the establishment, and Hillary represents what we call the establishment. There's no secret. The woman is almost untouchable, right?
And this
You can never
reveals
lock her
what?
up. I'm sorry. She will never be locked up. I'm sorry. Never, 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 never will you lock her up.
No, she won't. And as powerful as the big bad wolf as Trump, when he went up against the establishment and pretty much lost, right? Let's just keep it a buck, right?
Oh yeah.
How powerful is the establishment? We need to realize that, right?
Come on, man. You need it. You can't do it alone, bro. Like Trump had his team. They tried their best. I think they underestimated the power of the establishment. They don't realize
big time.
when we talk about the ruling class. To be clear, like you said, Macho, it could be on both sides, right? This is why we have the name rhinos. There's Republicans who are also not on their side. There's Democrats who are bad. At the end of the day, man, being part of the establishment is being more for government and less for the people. And we have people all across our government who don't care about the people. They just care about the government, unfortunately.
They care about the power that they possess.
Exactly.
Because the more power they get, the more dependency that they require. They demand. They demand this dependency. That's why you have people like Nancy Pelosi, Savory, saying, "Oh, we need to do these kinds of things to like, for example, about the energy business. We need to start going towards election to what? Save our planet. Save our planet? Are you a child? Are you wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are we children? We want to save the planet.
No, look. The reason they can talk like that is because many people feed into those talking points, so they feed us what we want to hear. Like, what are you talking
Ridiculous.
about?
It's absolutely absurd. We're
Anyway,
not children.
politics is wild. It's a circus out here. I cannot agree with you more, Macho. I don't know.
Hillary,
The right is becoming more of a circus day by day by day. This is a circus, bro.
So, guys, thanks for tuning in today. We talked about this Hillary Clinton, or the lack of discussion, I would say, on many sides. A lot of people not talking about this fine. I guess people are just waiting.
President Biden is doing a very good job. I think that his handling of Ukraine, passing the American Rescue Package, the huge infrastructure package. I'm not quite sure what the disconnect is between the accomplishments of the administration and this Congress.
People are just wishing, I guess, for shooting for the stars with this Hunter Biden laptop that was admitted that we just covered. I think we just covered that in a previous episode of the Matt Gaetz
facts.
Into the hearing, and it's like, where's that really going to go? So I think they're swinging for the fences. They want to show, they want to have this big masquerade, like, hey, we're on the side of good. We don't buy it. We don't believe it. We don't care. At the end of the day, we know what time it is, and we've always known what time it is.
You know what time it is.
So we wanted to talk about the whole Hillary Clinton being fined by the FEC. Please keep, if you want more information, comment in the comment section. Let us know what y'all take is. Until then, let's keep drinking on. See you guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.